Hello and welcome to Aviation this week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Joe Ketumbi. On the program, we're taking a look at the level of reciprocity of the numerous bilateral air services agreement Nigeria has with other countries, just as another operator makes its way into 3 Francophone West African countries in the spirit of integration and trade. Plus, Air Berlin makes its final flight amidst sadness from employees and brand loyalists. That's this edition in view.
Before an airline can operate international services to another country, the government must first negotiate a treaty-level agreement with the destination country's government. These treaties are known as bilateral air services agreements. At the moment, Nigeria has over 80 of such agreements.
Nigeria's air transport industry retained its attractiveness because people are still asking for permission to come in. They are still asking to increase frequency, even though some have closed shop and some have reduced. Towards that end, we had increase in bilateral air service agreements. We currently have 88 bilateral air service agreements with 88 countries. And recently, the number increased by 2 to 90. That was in December. Those 2 additional countries I mentioned, Seychelles and Bahamas. Countries that requested for additional frequencies include United Arab Emirates, the Netherlands, Turkey, Brazil, Qatar, and Cote d'Ivoire.
About 5 years ago, Arik Air, at the height of its operations, also had issues with its Abuja-London services. When UK airport authorities told the Nigerian carrier that it does not have a slot for its flights from Abuja. For most experts, while the Nigerian government eagerly welcomes foreign airlines to Nigeria, other countries whose airlines operate into Nigeria usually refuse Nigerian carriers from operating to their countries.
The painful thing, again, is that many of these countries, even when they take the rights in Nigeria, they make sure that Nigerian airline doesn't get such rights in their country. So we have not imbibed the principle of reciprocity. In the airline industry, it's pure reciprocity. What if I give to you, you have to give to me.
Industry observers say other countries bring in politics to eliminate competition after they have signed an agreement that is binding.
The minute Nigeria Airways was liquidated, the ministry took over BASA, not just BASA agreements, bilateral service agreement negotiation. They took over commercial agreements. Commercial agreements are usually between airlines, not between ministry and an airline. But in our country, it became agreement negotiation between the ministry and the airlines. And ministry knew nothing. They know nothing. You don't expect them to know. That is not their job function. All the people you have there who say, oh, we're in charge of this aviation sector, airport, air transport regulation, they do not know.
Many others say that now is the time for the federal government to take responsibility to protect domestic carriers who have been designated to reciprocate the bilateral air service agreement.
Almost all the bilaterals were only servicing about 3 or 4 of them. And this has to do not because we don't have market for it, but we don't have airlines who have been able to position themselves for the reciprocity. And then there's a need why we need to come inwards and look at how we can support to have one strong carrier that can compete on the international route. What we have now are airlines that are barely struggling and probably not have the backing of the government. And what I may have alluded to this must be what I call the conception stage, where I have a problem with that 2 aircraft. And when you start with those 2 aircraft, people find that once they get 3 before, they feel they're beating the minimum margin, and people begin to relax and do what they want. What we have right now is the major problem. The airlines are just not there to reciprocate. What we made compulsory is the IOSA. But IOSA is safety related. That will not get you commercial agreement. It is icing, it's an icing, but it's not the cake. The cake is IATA membership of airline association, and membership of the major alliances. It is with those alliances, IATA membership, not IOSA now, that you can begin to discuss with airline, that you can begin to operate commercially. So some cities that you can't even operate to, you can have partnership. Right now, we don't have it. None of our airline has any interline or code share with any airline. What we do is point to point, and that has made the bilateral services agreement very weak. We need to sign bilateral because we will not hold our citizens down from giving them comfort and travel to different places of the world. We can't hold the citizens down. We need to encourage travel, and the only way we can encourage travel is to provide air links and not strain us once. But when you have an airline who sees 4 points, 2, 3, 4 points of entry, that's very good. He has another one sees about 4, 5, and even buys into a neighboring airline. I'm talking about Ethiopian Airlines now, not Emirates again. I'm talking about European Airlines who buys into an airline in Togo here, goes then to invest into an airline in an airline in Togo, and operates into Nigeria with that airline with numerous frequencies. The important thing, the right thing to do, which must have been done, was for those two airlines to come into Nigeria and invest in a carrier to take out those activities of yours. But what we are seeing is they're investing in neighboring countries and coming in to take the market. What is wrong in asking that? Well, if you want these extra frequencies, come into here and buy in a carrier or start a carrier. That would improve competition. That would help the Nigerian market, and that will help the industry. But rather than do that, we're filtering the bilateral services away.